Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2021 President's Fall Convocation. At this time, please welcome the presidential party, escorted by Dr. Isaac Crumbly. Now entering the faculty of Fort Valley State University, led by Dr. Mark Lattimore. Now entering the staff of Fort Valley State University, led by Columbus Otterman.
You may be seated. Fort Valley State, Fort Valley State, our lives to thee we dedicate. Peace and love and good morning. Peace and love and good morning. I am Berlethea J. Pitts, a professor of English and interim dean for the College of Arts and Sciences and I have the privilege today of presiding over the President's Convocation. Thank you for your physical and your virtual presence today. We trust that each of you and your families are well and are continuing to follow the advised precautions to take care of yourselves. Our souls we blend to sing thy name. Eternal praise we do proclaim. When our 18 founding fathers established Fort Valley Normal and Industrial School in 1895, they ignited a light here in the Valley, and that light has proven to be inextinguishable by making an educational opportunity available to everyone and anyone with the potential for brilliance, regardless of race and independent of social status. That light remains to be knowledge, and it enables us to see beyond our positions and our circumstances in order to venture into the realm of empowering the possible by illuminating our institutional purpose. Faithful and true, Fort Valley State, we at thy call forever wait. Please join us tomorrow at 2:00 p.m. in room 118 of the Horace Mann Bond Building for our Scholars Annual Constitution Day program. Their theme this year is Voting Matters. This year marks the 126th anniversary of the founding of Fort Valley State University in 1895. Please join us here in the HPE complex in exactly 7 weeks, Thursday, November the 4th, as we join to commemorate and celebrate the contributions of our 18 visionaries during our 81st annual Founders Day Convocation. We lift our hearts in thankfulness for loyalty and thoroughness. The purpose of today's event is for our president, Dr. Paul Jones, to share with us, the members of the Wildcat Nation, his vision for Fort Valley State University through this year's State of the University Address. As President Jones illuminates where we have been, where we are, the direction in which we, as a committed and empowered academic enterprise, are moving, and what we collectively and individually are doing in order to advance the mission and light of this institution, I trust that you will remember that each of us has the privilege of being a steward of this university. We love to hear thy sweet name called. Thou art the dearest school of all. Please stand at this time for the singing of the national anthem, followed by an invocation from Reverend Sean Drains, the pastor of St. Peter AME Church, Fort Valley, Georgia, then followed by a selection from the Fort Valley State University Choir under the direction of Miss Alicia Carner McDonald.
So proud. Let us pray. Eternal God, you brought us here today to celebrate the beginning of a new school year, a time that we all can begin with blank slates. Although we come from different backgrounds, different cultures, and different world views, we can gather as a united community here at the Fort Valley State University. Eternal God, remind us that you are still in control no matter what we are facing, global pandemic, racial injustice, or personal matters. Help us to remember that your unchanging love is free to us and carries us through the difficult we have had this year. Help us to chase our dreams and not be discouraged. Oh God, remind us that every experience presents an opportunity to learn. Let us embrace our circumstances without fear or regret and take chances so that we can live a better tomorrow. Oh God, we invite your holy presence to be with us on this day. Amen.
You may now be seated. Tragedies are commonplace. All kinds of diseases. People are slipping away.
Economy's down. People can't get enough pay.
As for me, all I can say is thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
For all you've done for me.
Folks without home, living out in the streets, and that old drug habit, they just can't be.
Muggers and robbers seem to be no place safe.
But Lord, you've been my protection every step of the way. So I'll say thank you, Lord. So I'll say thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me.
It could have been me.
you, Reverend Drains, for our invocation. And thank you, Fort Valley State University Choir, led by Dr. Carner McDonald, Ms. Carner McDonald. Our hearts to thee will e'er belong. Thou art so steadfast, brave, and strong. We will now receive greetings from Dr. Olufunke Fontenot, the Interim Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, and Dr. Maria Lumpkin, the Interim Vice President for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management. Following their respective greetings, we will have another selection from our choir. Dr. Fontenot.
What an uplifting performance by the University Choir. Please give them another round of applause. Thank you. A wonderful day to start this occasion. Good morning. My name is Olufunke Fontenot. I serve as Interim Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs of this great institution. It is indeed a privilege. President Jones, First Lady Mrs. Sylvia Jones, students, my faculty colleagues and fellow administrators, and other visitors here present, I bring you greetings on behalf of the faculty and staff of Academic Affairs. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you to the President's Convocation, an occasion to review, reflect, and report on the state of the university, an occasion to celebrate our achievements as a university. Early in August, we welcomed faculty and staff back to campus for the new academic year with the annual Faculty and Staff Institute. In mid-August, we welcomed the students back to campus. The new student convocation marked the formal induction ceremony of the class of 2025 into the Wildcat community and the beginning of a new tradition. On this occasion of the 2021 State of the University Address, now formally called the President's Convocation Address, we gather again today to celebrate and continue the rhythm and the cadence of a university on a mission, a university where we empower the possible. We celebrate our resolve and our resilience as a community. Knowing our story helps us tell that story. It engenders a sense of pride in our collective work and efforts. To President Jones, the 10th President of Fort Valley State University, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for steering us through the challenges of the recent times. Thank you for being the dream weaver and our storyteller-in-chief. Congratulations on this occasion of the formal beginning and storytelling for 2021 and beyond. Congratulations on this President's Convocation.
President Jones, First Lady Jones, Provost Fontenot, members of the University Cabinet, SGA President Garen Walker, FVSU alumni, friends of the college, and to our most precious commodities, our students. I bring you greetings from the Division of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management. I don't know about you, but it feels pretty good to be at the school ranked the #1 public HBCU in the state of Georgia by U.S. News and World Report. Not for the first time, not for the second time or the third time, but for the fourth time. We are indeed an institution that is discovering boundless opportunities for innovation, leadership, professional growth, and intellectual excellence that has allowed us to be recipients of this commendation. I don't know about you, but I wake up every single morning conspiring about how we can provide a stimulating and exceptional student experience for our scholars and co-create the conditions that help our students to flourish and have a life-changing educational experience that will position them for success in all aspects of their lives. About a month ago, I ran into a proud 1992 graduate of the Fort Valley State University while shopping at Costco. And she identified me by my blue and gold mask. She made her way over to me, weaving through a long line, and we shared a hug as she was telling me about the year that she graduated, her work as a principal in Atlanta, and that she was coronated a third-generation Wildcat. Her closing salutation to me was, "See you at homecoming, Wildcat." And I was just so proud to share that moment with her. The insignia of love that she had for this institution made me so proud. Convocation offers us renewal and reflection. And as we celebrate our enumerated accomplishments in the Wildcat Nation during this most important academic convocation exercise, let us too be reminded of our Wildcat insignia. When we say the Fort Valley State University, the is an ecclesiastical or divine expression that we are the lights in the valley. The term wildcat is our spirit animal, meant to convey the image of an animal that is successful in its quest to survive, using its ferocious attitude, speed, agility, and alertness of the wildcat. A wildcat is fierce. A wildcat, students, is emancipated. It's boundless, it's exploratory. A wildcat is known for being clever, resourceful, and unstoppable. When matured, wildcats are said to be 8 times stronger than humans of the same weight. And according to science, a wildcat purrs because they have something to say. From our incomparable and visionary 10th President, Paul Jones, innovative faculty, stalwart staff, and gifted scholars, we as a Wildcat Nation are all of these things and more. Be renewed and inspired to embody the spirit of the Wildcat Nation, and in the words of the preeminent Wildcats who penned our alma mater, William H. Pipes and Odessa Hardison McNair, our loyalty we dedicate. Thy name forever we proclaim. Fort Valley State, we love thy name.
Thank you, Dr. Fontenot, for your greetings on behalf of the Office of Academic Affairs. And thank you, Dr. Lumpkin, for your greetings on behalf of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management. And thank you again to the FVSU Choir, under the direction of Miss Alicia Carner McDonald. At this time, we will have greetings from Lazar Hunter, the 14th Mr., and Miss Janai Dortilis, the 84th Miss Fort Valley State University, followed by greetings from Mr. Garen M. Walker, the 2021-2022 Student Government Association President, and Mr. Walker will also introduce the 10th President of Fort Valley State University, Mr. and Mrs. FVSU.
To President Jones, First Lady Sylvia Jones, faculty, staff, and students, good morning. It's always a great day in the Valley when we can come together as one. Oftentimes during a crisis, we learn to sink or swim. During the pandemic, we, as a Wildcat family, decided to swim to protect ourselves and others. I am Lazar Hunter, a senior animal science major hailing from Perry, Georgia. And she is
Janai Dortilis, a senior marketing major from the great city of Atlanta, Georgia.
And we are honored to serve as your 14th Mr.
and 84th Miss
Fort Valley State University. We are pleased to bring greetings to this year's President's Convocation ceremony.
Now, we would like to take the time to acknowledge our court.
Mr. First Attendant John Blackshear III, a senior business management major.
Miss First Attendant Sheriana McKibben, a senior biology major.
Mr. Second Attendant Jordan Watson, a senior mathematics major.
Miss Second Attendant Colette Tolles, a senior mathematics major.
Mr. Senior Terrence Phelps, a business management major.
Miss Senior Serena Hale, a senior biology major.
Mr. Junior Edwin Ellie, a biology major.
Miss Junior Cabrin Pinson, a biology major.
Mr. Sophomore Casey Hunter, an animal science major.
Miss Sophomore Anaya Arnold, a plant science and biotechnology major.
Mr. Freshman Orion Gaston, a psychology major.
Miss Freshman Kennedy Harrison, a business management major.
With COVID-19 cases still on the rise, we would like to encourage our Wildcats to continue to
wear their mask, wash their hands with soap, and practice social distancing when possible.
The Fort Valley State University continues to set the standard as we empower the possible. As President Jones once said, FVSU is committed to helping every student use their unique strengths already within to develop the knowledge, professionalism, and leadership to change the world through our confidence, competence, and character.
FVSU remains a light in the valley.
Thank you.
Let's give Mr. and Miss Fort Valley another round of applause for those warm greetings.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is indeed a good morning. Tell your neighbor, say why. Say why. It's a good morning because we have breath in our body. It's a good morning because we are clothed in our right minds. It's a good morning because we have a small portion of health and strength. Because we realized that somebody laid down last night and they didn't wake up this morning. But because we were on the get up list, it's a good morning. So again, I say good morning. On top of it being a good morning, you aren't just sitting at any ordinary institution, but you are sitting at the #1 public HBCU in the state of Georgia for the 4th consecutive year. Give yourselves a hand. I am Garen M. Walker, a senior history major from the small but prosperous city of Monroe, Georgia, and I have the honor of serving you, students, faculty, staff, and alumni as your 2021-2022 Student Government Association President. I bring you greetings this morning on behalf of myself and the Dream Team Administration. Please stand and be recognized. My task this morning is not one that I find hard at all. I will be introducing our president. Paul A. Jones, PhD, was appointed to serve as the 10th president of Fort Valley State University in December of 2015. His higher education career spans more than 3 decades from Colorado, Maryland, Utah, and Georgia. Before joining FVSU, Dr. Jones served 2 years as interim president at Darton State College in Albany, Georgia. Prior to his interim presidential appointment, he served in numerous senior leadership roles at Georgia College and State University, including Senior Vice President for Finance and Administration, Vice President and Chief of Staff, Vice President for Institutional Research and Enrollment Management, and several interim roles, including Interim Vice President of Academic Affairs and President. President Jones was also a professor of educational administration at Georgia College. Dr. Jones is also a member of several boards to include the Medical Center of Peach County, Navicent Health Board of Directors, Fort Valley State University Foundation, Middle Georgia Goodwill Industries Education Committee, Museum of Aviation Foundation Board of Governors, Association of Public and Land Grant Universities, Chair-elect of the 1890 President's Council, and Chair of the SIG President's Council. A native of Los Angeles, California, Jones earned his bachelor's and master's degree at Utah State University, and he also holds a Doctor of Philosophy degree in Education and Human Resource Studies from Colorado State University. Dr. and First Lady Jones have 2 adult children, Isaiah and Daphne. After the presentation on the screen, the next voice you will hear is none other than the 10th president of Fort Valley State University, Dr. Paul A. Jones.
Good morning, and welcome to the Fall 2021 President's Convocation and State of the University Address. I want to take a moment to thank our community, our campus community, our friends, and supporters for joining me on this great day. I'd like to extend a special welcome to our University Foundation board members and our National Alumni Association officers who are here today. In addition, I'd like to extend a special welcome to Shavonda Hill, who is in the office of Congressman Sanford Bishop, Jill Bowen, President and CEO of Peach Regional Chamber of Commerce. Of course, I have to provide or have a special recognition welcome to our Blue Coat ambassadors, SGA, our Royal Court, our student athletes, and all of our student leaders. A very special thanks to our Board of Regents and our University System of Georgia leaders and our state representatives for the tremendous support that they provide to this great university. I must also thank my leadership team, my cabinet members and staff, who I rely on to help keep our institution robust and moving forward. I also want to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed and committed university faculty and staff, because you are the tip of the spear in our mission to shape, educate, and prepare young minds for future careers and the burgeoning leaders of the 21st century. To my wife, the First Lady of Fort Valley State University, Sylvia Jones, and finally to our students who inspire us, rely on us, and who reside at the core of why we are here, welcome. You know, as I enter my 6th year as president of Fort Valley State University, I want to thank you for the continued support and encouragement you have extended me at this outstanding university. When I became president of Fort Valley State, I couldn't have envisioned the tremendous growth we would experience in so many critical areas, nor could I imagine the challenges that we would face, not only on our campus, but on a national and even global scale. We live in unheralded times that require us to be creative, focused, and strategic in seeking solutions. These times also require us to be far more resilient and adaptable than we've ever been before. But I've witnessed firsthand the indomitable spirit of our Wildcat community, and I am incredibly proud of the work that you've done and the accomplishments that you have made, particularly during this past year. If I had to summarize my entire remarks today, I would summarize them in one simple sentence. We faced repeated challenges, and we are tested and even sometimes bruised, but we are thriving. And not only have we as a Wildcat family stood shoulder to shoulder to support each other through this unprecedented period in our history, we have also worked tirelessly to extend those resources beyond our campus to help our communities to survive and thrive as well. We have been innovative, set new enrollment records, and worked to reach our students and educate them no matter where they were. We've developed new ways to teach, mastered Zoom sessions, created new paths, to providing resources and services, and pushed to ensure no previous gains were lost. Many of those accomplishments have been shared with me, but I know that there are far more acts done in silence, unseen, without public recognition, and amid overwhelming obstacles. And today, I want you to know that I appreciate you, and I want to thank you as well. You are our unsung heroes, and often the indestructible glue that keeps this campus moving forward. In many ways, during these past couple of years, America has faced two pandemics. One we know stemmed from racial injustice, which led to sweeping youth protests and bolder, more vigorous conversations around race. The other came as a global health crisis involving COVID-19 virus. I understand that the churn of these pandemics, the recent Delta variant, and the uncertainty surrounding our collective future have left many of us weary and on the edge. COVID-19 has disrupted all of our lives and brought with it pain, struggle, fear, and tragedy for countless individuals and their families. Our job now is to try to manage those public health challenges during increased enrollment demand. Unfortunately, this dilemma before us has resulted in several of our colleagues opting to retire early or leave the university due to health concerns. And our ability to rehire in this current market is highly challenging, as others question whether they want to come into an in-person environment. We are indeed facing a dilemma. While Fort Valley State University embraces and enhancing our enrollment, we all recognize workforce needs continue to be a challenge for all of us. Yet even through these seemingly insurmountable obstacles, we as an institution have persevered. As a result, as you've already heard, we continue to reign as Georgia's #1 public HBCU. Just this week, we learned of this great recognition and recognized for our strength and commitment to helping students with economic disadvantages graduate. We were also named one of the top performing schools in the country for social mobility, ranking 9 out of 136 regional universities in the South. This is significant. This means we are in the top 10 in the regional South for advancing students who are Pell recipients to graduation. That is one of our greatest challenges in America, and this university ranks in the top 10 in the regional South. Because of our committed faculty and staff and our dedicated students and our unyielding alumni, friends, and supporters, we have managed to pivot and reposition so we can enjoy what we anticipate will be another incredible year where step by step we attend in-person classes, hopefully enjoy some of our long-standing traditions, and embrace the beauty of being a university. And if we want to continue these options, it will take all of us sacrificing and working together to protect our campus environment. I appreciate the tremendous roles that everyone has played in our overall success. I especially appreciate the leadership shown by our emergency response team and the tremendous impact that they've made in keeping the number of positive COVID cases low, providing care to those students who are impacted, and securing additional isolation housing for our students this week. Because of their hard work, we were able to provide COVID-19 testing and vaccination right here on campus. We ultimately elevated that by securing approval to become an open point of dispensing where others from outside of our campus could also choose to get vaccinated. So that means that along with supporting our internal community, we can also now support the surrounding community on an as-needed basis. I also want to take this time to recognize our cooperative extension program's efforts involving their participation in various COVID-related efforts. Along with participating in COVID vaccination efforts, they have played an integral part of our COVID task force. Our cooperative extension team also participated in the Farmers of Family Food Box program. This USDA-funded initiative purchased and disseminated agricultural products to needy residents through rural, middle, and South Georgia. They're helping to make a difference in the lives of others during very difficult times. Along with the feeding program they supported, they also provided support to the Black Lives Matter movement. As an HBCU, along with our commitment to academic excellence, we also bear the responsibility of educating, supporting, and leading discussions around racial justice issues. Over this past year, Dr. Maisha Akbar led the charge on campus for our social justice task force. Along with hosting several forums, the task force has also been at the center of FVSU, continuing to look for ways to develop in the future our own Center for Social Justice. In alignment with that goal, we also recently established our first endowed professorship in social justice. In addition, Dr. Komanduri Murti, for his outstanding scholarship, was appointed the inaugural Dr. Alma Jones Professorship in Social Justice. Over the past year, we've also enjoyed positive gains in our graduation rates, which increased by more than 15% over those past 2 years. Our retention rates continue to be strong as well as we continue to focus our efforts to strengthen student engagement. We also enjoyed extraordinary support this past year from our Wildcat alumni, especially around emergency support that transitioned into funding for several critical areas of need. Because of our alumni and other key supporters, we achieved our campaign goal of raising a historic $12.5 million for our 125th year campaign. That deserves a round of applause. To accomplish that, our foundation worked tirelessly to increase its fundraising efforts. This year alone, the foundation has raised more than $4.7 million, nearly double what it has done in previous years. This was made possible because of efforts like our scholarship luncheon and virtual giving, which raised more than $314,000, an all-time high for the scholarship luncheon. I'm also excited about the establishment of 12 new scholarship endowments. And I'm pleased to announce that we've also increased the total number of donors to overall to nearly 2,000 individual donors to this university. And you guys can clap on this because this is not insignificant. The results from all of the additional fundraising and friend-raising activities mean that more of our students were awarded scholarships. More than 750 students receive scholarship support through the foundation. Even amid the pandemic, we had some amazing positive experiences. And we can't thank our alumni, friends, and supporters enough for continuing to show up for this university. But let's give a round of applause to everyone who's continued to stand by this great university, not just through their wallets, but through all of the amazing support that they've provided during these challenging times. Let's give them all a round of applause. Earlier, I mentioned briefly our enrollment demand last year. I'd like to break that down for you and provide some additional perspective on how we compare to other institutions across the nation. You see, nationally, undergraduate college enrollment fell after this past spring, down nearly 5% from a year prior. That means that 727,000 fewer students. This is based on data from the National Student Clearinghouse. Overall enrollment at the undergraduate and graduate levels has been on a downward trend almost since 2012. But even during a pandemic, we at Fort Valley State University and other HBCUs across this country have experienced record enrollments. At FVSU this past fall, the fall enrollment was up more than 7.7%. Our freshman enrollment saw growth in double digits. The overall fall 2020 enrollment at the undergraduate level was up 11%. And while we still have more work to do at the graduate level, we're excited about Dr. Robert Debe, our new Vice Provost and Dean of Graduate Studies, who's now joined us. And we believe our future is bright as he works with our colleges to move our graduate programs forward. Much of the enrollment represented a significant increase in our bordering states. Students who came from Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, and even strong enrollment gains from California and the Northeast. This is thanks in part to our partnership we started a couple of years ago with the National College Resources Foundation. They operate the Black College Expo recruitment events throughout the country. And through this initiative, we are allowed to provide out-of-state waivers to those students who come through that program. We continue to enroll a significant number of students from the Atlanta metropolitan area, but still are seeing strong enrollments in Houston County, Peach County, and also Bibb County. Let me take a moment to also just thank our stellar congressional delegation for supporting our enrollment efforts at the federal level in particular through the agricultural scholarships in the 2018 Farm Bill. Because of this additional funding, we saw enrollment gains in the College of Agriculture up nearly 12%. This enrollment increase was both at the undergraduate and graduate levels. The message is being received loud and clear about the transformative power of an HBCU education. And we are excited about this renewed message and the opportunity that it presents for us to better shape our enrollment as we move forward. As we move forward this year, we also plan to restart our honors program and move forward also with our efforts with our globalization initiative. As our enrollment increases, the need to expand and improve upon our physical plant is even more urgent. Over this past year, our capital projects, as you saw in the film, and the activity within our business and finance division have been significant. Previously, through our goals within the business and finance area, we set a goal of saving more than $400,000 through energy efficiency initiatives across campus. I'm proud to say that we surpassed that and increased energy savings at the level of $600,000. Now our goal is to achieve $1 million in energy savings within the next 2 years. And why is that important? Not just the footprint of our climate and those things that we all are concerned about, but those savings will allow us to reallocate those funding to higher priorities. And that is something that we know is needed here at this university. So continue to work with us as we push forward towards the $1 million savings. Also, this past year, we completed the construction of the amphitheater, and equally significant, by naming this facility, we established, as I mentioned, our first endowed professorship. Because of the generosity of the FVSU alumnus, Alonzo and Kathy Jones, and their siblings, Alfred, Alma, and Rose, who had distinguished careers in medicine, while their brothers David and Ray were respected business leaders, they not only supported this project, but they were responsible for the naming of the professorship after their sister, Alma, who was the first medical doctor in their family to graduate from Fort Valley State University. Additionally, thanks to the Georgia General Assembly and our strong legislative delegation led by our own Patty Bentley and our alumnus State Representative Calvin Smyrie, we received construction funding this year for Davison Hall. This will house our business department and social sciences departments. We're finally in the design phase, and hopefully we'll start construction sometime in 2022. We also received approval from the University System of Georgia to move forward with the renovation of the Kell Building in downtown Fort Valley. This facility, which is in the design phase, will be the center for innovation and entrepreneurship. We hope to start construction also in 2022. Additionally, if you've been over to Pettigrew Center, you've seen renovations taking place there as well. Along with the carpet being replaced, new seats will be installed, and the old lighting and sound systems will be upgraded. Now let's talk a little bit about how we financially managed during this past year. All of you know this was a very challenging year as we started off the year facing a 10% budget reduction. That was later reduced to 7%. But 7% from your base budget is still very significant. Facing these tremendous reductions, and especially during COVID, was difficult for this campus. But we have a lot to be thankful for as Congress stepped forward with funding through the CARES Act, which allowed us to mitigate layoffs here at our campus. And while we were unable to give raises this past year, we were able to provide a bonus to employees who made $70,000 or less. And of course, you should know that this was one of those unfunded mandates. But because of the great work in our business and finance area, we were still able to move forward that initiative. We recognize we need to do more, and we want to do more in this area. And as we continue to grow the enrollment and the savings that we are counting on, we hope that we can begin to move the salary study forward. During this previous year, we were also able to experience a budget surplus at the close of the end of the year. That surplus allowed us to invest in several projects going on around the campus. We also saw a 40% increase in sponsored programs. Much of that was due to the CARES funding, but also because of the great work of our talented faculty and staff securing grants. The CARES funding not only helped us mitigate layoffs, but it also helped us to substantially increase technology on our campus, particularly in the classrooms. It also helped us to support our students. And while also providing valuable resources to continue to fight this pandemic. If we did not receive those funding, it would be very difficult for all of us to be here today. And so we thank Congressman Bishop, we thank our other leaders for the great work that they are doing on behalf of the United States, but also Georgia. We now have moved forward a few other projects thanks to these savings. We've established a brand new call center for enrollment services. We were also able to enhance software in several areas, as I mentioned, particularly classroom technology. So now if there's any future disruptions, or I should probably say when there are future disruptions, we will be in a great position to pivot, particularly if we have to go online. So in some ways, while COVID has been very challenging for all of us, it has created some opportunities for us to improve our technology infrastructure. Even as we've stretched resources and managed these budget cuts, our institutional presence within the region and within this country has continued to be very strong. FVSU's economic impact for this past year was $140.9 million. We continue to make this region and our community strong through direct and indirect ways, such as the employees that we hire, other employees, construction workers, vendors, the shopping that you do within the community, the goods and services. All of those things go to the bottom line of the economic impact that we have on this community. We continue to not only be a great value, but to provide an excellent value as well. Our campus continues to make an impact in Georgia and beyond, and we're making a difference through the achievement of our faculty and our students. Let me share just a few of some of those successes with you. Political science major Taylor Dorsey was named to an elite group of scholars. The White House Initiative on Historically Black Colleges and University recently announced its 8th cohort of HBCU scholars. This program recognized 86 undergraduate, graduate, and professional students for their academic accomplishments, leadership, civic engagement, and so much more. Taylor Dorsey, a Fort Valley State University junior, is among the students named to this elite group of scholars. Taylor, please stand so we can recognize you. Zendil Hudson participated in the Ronald E. McNair Post-Baccalaureate Achievement Program. Hudson is a chemistry major who's in the Ronald E. McNair Post-Baccalaureate Achievement Program, and she engaged in a summer research program at Boston University. As a senior this year, the program will prepare her to apply to PhD programs throughout the United States. Zenziel Hudson is here with us as well. Please stand. Janiyah Green, an honor scholar in plant sciences, represented our 4-H program at the National 4-H program. Green, an FVSU 1890 scholar, also led our 4-H Village Community Garden Project in Sylvester, Georgia, which produced and distributed 2,200 free food boxes to more than 1,500 families. Is Janiyah Green with us here today? Please stand. Let us recognize you as well. These are just 3 of the many students who are doing outstanding work because we continue to empower the possible. We congratulate you for the amazing work that you're doing. We also had College of Agricultural students participate in various internships throughout the United States, including the University of California at Davis, Michigan State University, the University of Vermont, as well as the Wildlife Federation, Tyson Foods, USDA, and county schools throughout Georgia. And so the work that we do is indeed transformational, and we need to continue to focus on uplifting these students and providing them with the exceptional student experiences. And even during COVID-19, our student athletes continue to dominate and shine. Last spring, our football team won both of its spring contests. And of course, we all know they finally shut down Tuskegee University 30-0. Congratulations on that great work. Our track team also won the championship cup this past spring as well. In addition, graduation rates for athletes, I'm going to start that over again because I want you to hear it. Graduation rates of student athletes increased by more than 4% over last year. As a result, our student athletes now have a higher graduation rate than our overall student body. Our faculty also enjoyed much success during this past year, including countless research initiatives, various publications and authorships, and just to mention a few. We had 2 books published during this past year, and more than 20 book chapters, multiple journal articles that were published by our faculty. Dr. Mark Smith published A Volunteer in the Regulars this past year. The highlights of his book appeared in the Civil War Times magazine. Dr. Komanduri Murty published pharma patents in India and the United States, a juristic study, and countless other book chapters. I congratulate all of our faculty for the enormous scholarship that you have been producing, not just last year, over time, you continue to provide outstanding scholarship that translates into great work for our students and the world. Congratulations to all of you for the work that you're doing. This previous year, we also saw tremendous partnerships develop. And that is really important to us as a university as we continue to move forward. Our fourth priority of our strategic plan focuses on collaboration and these partnerships. Thanks to the leadership of Ms. LaWanna Williams and others, Fort Valley State University entered into a new partnership with Grand Valley State University. The joint venture creates pathways for FVSU students to earn master's degrees in engineering, computer science, and other areas. Just this fall, Grand Valley State University, in its first year of the partnership, welcomed 6 students in master's programs in engineering and 1 student in a Master's of Business Administration. FVSU also became a founding partner in a national alliance with the founding partner and convener, Grand Valley State University as well. The partnership is with Boise State University, Shippensburg University, San Jose State University, and Amarillo College, and Fort Valley State University anchors the South region. And this important initiative we call Rep 4 will help us to change the future of education because it uses a learner-led approach. We also launched an important partnership with Robbins Air Force Base, designed to advance students' knowledge in computer science and cybersecurity. The partnership makes FVSU the first HBCU to join forces with the Air Force Base. We've had much to celebrate this past year, and I believe we have even more to be excited about for the upcoming year. But I want to pause for a second to just say congratulations and thank you for the amazing work that you accomplished during this past academic year. Give yourselves a round of applause. Although 2021 and 2022 finds us in a very familiar place when dealing with COVID-19, I think we've learned a lot about managing and navigating during this pandemic. And we're taking those lessons and pairing them with new protocols to continue to provide a safe campus. Even though in recent weeks we had a surge in the numbers due to the Delta variant, we are managing those cases and moving forward strongly encouraging masking, vaccination, and cleaning or washing your hands. While we had double-digit increases just a couple of weeks ago, I believe we have only 1 student now in isolation. And we need to continue to be diligent to fight this virus and to not let our guards down. One of our new and more recent partnerships will also allow us to be more effective in isolating our campus-based students who test positive for COVID. Unfortunately, a couple weeks ago, we ran out of space, and many students had to go home. But with our new partnership, we're hopeful that we'll be able to manage it more because we know it's very challenging for you when you have to go home, particularly when you have other family members who may be in the home who may have other underlying health conditions. While enrollment for the fall 2021 is slightly behind last year, I think we've done an amazing job considering the shortage of faculty members that I mentioned earlier. because of the loss of some of those faculty members due to early retirement, and some who, quite frankly, did not want to return to this environment, and it was largely due because of their own health concerns or their family health concerns. It became real challenging for us to meet the enrollment demand. However, again, we did an amazing job. We added 64 new beds this spring for freshmen, and we filled every one of those beds for first-time freshmen. This year, we're excited about the other projects that are taking place. You saw in the video the Kell building. I mentioned the Davison Hall project, which will be repurposed for academic facility and classroom and offices. But we're excited also as we move into this legislative session that we have a very significant project that will be going forward to the General Assembly, which will be a project to renovate Founders, Bywaters, and at least one additional facility. Another exciting development underway for the upcoming academic year is we are starting the design phase of another facility. It's called our cold vegetable processing facility. This new facility will process vegetables such as collards, kale, peas, and beans. This building will provide small farmers in Georgia the opportunity to produce commercial vegetables. You'll see very shortly that we'll be installing new gate arms for students and staff to access campus as long as you have your FVSU ID cards. In addition, we are going away from the traditional mail system to a new smart system that will allow you to pick up your mail whenever convenient. You also saw in the video the Georgia Power Solar Farm Initiative is making tremendous progress. Through this partnership with Georgia Power, the solar project is being constructed on more than 107 acres right off Carver Drive. And when completed, it will be the largest solar farm on a college campus in the country. The solar farm, along with the state-of-the-art demonstration lab, when completed, we hope in December, will allow faculty and students the opportunity to gain valuable knowledge and skills in the area of sustainable energy. Students and alumni, another great project that is underway, FVSU is moving forward with the construction of a new FVSU Greek Plaza. The Greek Plaza will be located in the vacant area right across from the Lions Student Center. We are hoping to break ground during homecoming, so stay tuned for more information on that. We also will be engaging all of the grad chapters as well in this important campaign. Even more exciting are the changes happening with our athletic facilities. As you have been probably observing over the last several weeks, a new track and field surface has been added to the athletic complex. This will be a much safer track. Actually, it will be a track that you can actually compete on. It will allow us to have walking classes and physical education courses, if you will, and of course, those important competitions. The striping of the track we put on hold so that we could start the construction of the athletic football field. The Wildcat football field is being modernized by replacing the grass field with a new artificial turf. The project, if you saw the video, but if you happen to be in the area over the last couple of days, what a transformation. We have ourselves a state-of-the-art artificial turf football field, and I know our student athletes are going to love it. We plan for this to be, while not ready for this game on Saturday, we hope that it will be completed next week, and it will be ready for our next home game. The track and field, of course, needs striping, and we hope to have that completed well before the student athletes will begin practicing on it. But beyond our physical projects, I'm most excited about the recent approval of our new Bachelor's of Science degree in nursing. For many of you, it's a long time coming. I know we have pursued that for many years, and thanks to the amazing and talented faculty within the College of Arts and Sciences who stepped up and helped plan, our consultant, and also our Board of Regents staff came together to come up with what we believe will be one of the finest programs that you'll see. It is our desire that our nursing program will have a very special focus, and that focus will be to support rural education and provide important leadership skills for nurses who may want to work in rural communities. We're also very pleased with one of our partners who stepped forward early in the process, and that is Phoebe Putney Health System. Phoebe stepped forward to not only help us to guarantee that our students will have important clinical experience when they start the program, but they also stepped up to provide the funding to support for the next 3 years our inaugural program director for nursing. Let's give Phoebe Putney Health System a round of applause. That's what I call partnership. We're grateful for the opportunity to address this important critical shortage that is ongoing within not only in our region, but throughout the state. And as we move forward, we will be looking at other related health programs that are important to Middle Georgia and beyond. We know that change is a constant. And around campus, that is evident through some of the new Wildcats we've welcomed to serve in positions at both the executive and middle management levels. But with these new faces comes, I believe, a burst of excitement and anticipation of fresh, bold new ideas for Fort Valley State University. We're also elated that to be able to bring on these individuals who we expect to see great things. We have great people here. We have a great strategic plan that is the blueprint for moving us forward over the next 5 years. And working together with these new partners and our new faculty, our new students, our new staff, we will produce some great things at this university. To support all of the new work we have planned, fundraising continues to be a priority here at this university. As I mentioned, we received the wonderful gift this past year from Alonzo Jones and Kathy Jones and their family. That was over $250,000. We also received nearly $1 million from Chevron as well towards the CDEP program. Recently, we received a $250,000 gift from an anonymous benefactor to assist students who are making their way towards graduation, but sometimes it's just a few dollars or so that keep them from dropping out or stopping out. And so we appreciate this donor for stepping forward to help our university of more than $250,000. I will also be announcing in October 2 additional major gifts that will be bestowed on this great university. It's too early for me to name those, as I will be working with those individuals for more public announcement, but stay tuned, because 2 additional exciting things are going to take place here in the Valley. Thanks again to the COVID relief funds that we received, we also were able to provide debt relief to several students when we discharged $250,000 of student debt. Now, I know students, some of you start calling and asking us, could we discharge your student loan debt? But it wasn't for student loans, it was for the debt or the unpaid balances that students had over the last 2 years of COVID, or during COVID. And so our university was able to discharge that debt, and immediately upon discharging that debt, those students were eligible to return to Fort Valley State University. But if they decided to move on to another institution or to just move on in general, they will not have that debt following them for the rest of their lives. And that, to me, was an important decision. Even in the middle of tremendous upheavals, we've learned that the key to success is embracing this change. Following our strategic plan and staying committed to our vision and pushing to forge new partnerships will become increasingly important. I'm particularly thankful again to our federal partners as well for the great work that they continue to do for us. We have 3 new community projects that we are awaiting decisions on through the Congressman Bishop's office. He sent forward a project for a community garden project. If funded, would allow us to create a community garden in the Fort Valley area and also in South Georgia through a partnership with Albany State. The second project is another significant project that went through Senator Warnock's office, and that is additional funding to support the CDEP program. And finally, a third project that we're hopeful will be funded. This project through Senator Ossoff's office is a community project that would help us to create, much like our meat processing facility, it would allow us to create and establish a poultry processing facility at Fort Valley State University. These are 3 important projects, and I can't think of any time in our history that our congressional leadership, we are lucky to even have them consider 1, but to have 3 congressional officers to put forward 3 projects before appropriation. That's significant. Let's give our partners a great round of applause. As we move forward in the coming weeks and months, I invite you to continue innovating, adapting, and growing, and as we continue to grow this university. Fort Valley State University has so much to offer, and I continue to say each year that we've only scratched the surface. As we've been meeting candidates for key positions here, they too see the enormous potential that we have here. We can no longer continue to be narrow in our thinking or our focus. We have a statewide mission. That's a blessing. There are only a couple of institutions within Georgia have a statewide mission like ours. And through our outreach efforts through the cooperative extension area, we can continue to do amazing work to support our community. And I've charged our College of Agriculture dean and their team to make sure that as we move forward, that we continue to do the important work that we're doing here. That's important. We've made a name for ourselves internationally in some of the work that we are doing. But if we want to continue to move forward as a university to become even more relevant, to become that HBCU, to become that land-grant institution, then we must make sure that we are looking at all of the agricultural commodities within our state. Agriculture is the #1 business in Georgia. And so this past year, we made a tremendous effort, again, through our congressional partners. So now we have an amazing partnership with the Byron Pecan facility, for ongoing research, internships for our students. Able for us now, we're now in a position to hire more faculty because of that support, our postdocs. We also have a new partnership with the Dawson Agricultural Research Station, additional permanent research funding. We need to make sure, and as I mentioned, even with the poultry area, if you want a seat at the table, you might have to invite yourselves. And so that's what we're doing at Fort Valley State, is inviting ourselves and making sure that we're playing an important role in helping our state grow. Again, we don't want to move away from the things that we know are so important to this university. We want to continue to do that important outreach with the underserved and those small farmers. But there are other state entities, other stakeholders that need the important work that we do here at this university. So I can tell you here today, we're going to put our foot on the accelerator, and we're going to move swiftly in moving this university forward in these important areas. And I want to thank Dr. Govind Cannon as well for playing an important role. He's the one who is working side by side with our lobbyists in Washington, D.C., and also working with our college agriculture and the rest of the team to make sure that we're establishing these meaningful partnerships. Partnerships, partnerships, partnerships. Colleagues, friends, this university is in a great position. But the only way that we can reach our full potential is that we do it together. That we get away from the silos and we focus on our students. Continue, make them first. We have to reimagine the services that we are providing to our students. In many ways, the services are broken. But thanks to some of the technological support that we've received, some of the new staffing that we have now brought to this institution, and your amazing energy, we can move this university to another level. I don't want our students complaining again about long lines, about financial aid, about whatever else it might be, because those are the things that they shouldn't have to worry about. So we have to figure out a way to come together to make our services seamless. Seamless. Unapologetically so. There will be more pressure on us to do this work going forward. We either have to do it or move out of the way. They deserve this level of service. That's what our strategic plan is calling for us to do, to provide that exceptional student experience. It's not about just being an HBCU. No longer do I want to hear, that's just how we do it. We're going to do it the best possible way and write a new chapter for the way we serve our students. But we can only do that if we work together, that we break down those silos, those boundaries, that we come together to support each and every one of those students. We admitted them, so we have an obligation to them to give them the support they need. Let's help them to achieve their dreams, even dreams they've not imagined. Let's work together. Let's continue to empower the possible. I want to thank you for being here today again. I want to thank you for the work I know you're going to do over this year. But again, I want each and every one of you to continue to be vigilant. The pandemic is ongoing. While we cannot require a lot of things, the simple mask can help us to save lives. A simple wearing of a mask can keep us safe, can keep you in the classroom. We do not want to pivot the way we did a year ago. We have to work with each other. As many of us as possible getting vaccinated, washing our hands, doing all the things possible to keep all of us safe. Young people, the virus is attacking you today, and we need you to continue to work hard at it. And lastly, let me give a shout out to our football players again. 98% of you are vaccinated. Those are leaders. You're keeping us safe. And I'm going to tell you, it's making a difference. There have been games throughout the country, you don't hear about it, that have been canceled. We're still moving forward. Keep up the great work. Good luck to you this Saturday. Students, have a great year. Empower the possible. Thank you much.
Before you excuse yourselves, please join me in thanking President Jones for his reminding us of how we are achieving exceptional student experiences, operational excellence, organizational identity, and engagement and collaboration. Please have a seat at this time. Please remain where you are as we have the singing of our alma mater. Following that, we will have our recessional led by the platform party. Thank you.
At this time, no one should be moving. No one should be moving at this time. Please pause where you are and elevate your right arm. Thank you.